There she is. And I never thought I'd see this boat again, to be honest, unless I was invited as a guest. But oh, she looks rough, actually. So looking inside, she does not look pretty. She doesn't smell good either. A lot of water in the bilge. Clearly the pump is not working. Need to get that pumped out. That's why it looks like she's riding low on the other side. And I got to get down into here. This is going to be a little bit of a nightmare. Yeah, everything needs a lot of cleaning.
A new place, a new home, for a while, let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back, take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by, life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself.
Hello everybody, Jacob here, and it's good to have everyone following again and be back on YouTube. So welcome to episode 86. I'm still going to be catching you up on all the things that I went through foreclosing on this yacht and what it's taken to get it resold again. So catching you up to real time, but I could use some feedback for future videos. Obviously I have to wrap up a lot of loose ends, but once I do that, I'm not totally set on which direction I go. So the question is, would all of you like to be watching me in the United States on RV adventure, since I still own Finn the RV, or would you all prefer to see me head off back to Asia? There's primarily Philippines is on my list. There's more places there I want to visit and see, but also I'd like to do Thailand again. And since I had to delete all my Philippines content and all my Thailand content, Malaysia content, Singapore content, I'm sure everyone. I'm kind of anxious to go back and kind of redo a lot of that. So let me know in the comments which way you'd like to see. There's a lot of fun RV projects I could do, plus some travels in the U.S. that would be really interesting. So it's either that or Asia. I got to decide which one. And let me know, and we'll talk to you again soon. You can see the growth again. She's riding real high on the water because the bilge pumps aren't working on port side, so she's holding a lot more water on port side. That's why she's a little high on this side. Alright, batteries are all here. I'm going to test them out here to make sure they're all still going, but I think they're fine. All the cushions are out here. They're looking pretty dirty, but pretty well intact. I checked the engine bays and it doesn't look like anything's changed there. They're the same as they have been. Fridge is on. There's not much here. Dishes need to be done. A dog bowl. There's rips. There's a rip in this cushion. There's a rip in this cushion. None of them look real great. And these windows were cracked before. They're still cracked. There's a tiny little crack forming in this one. There's so much freaking water in here. I've been pumping with this pump for 5 minutes already. Crazy, and it's moving at fast too. I mean, it's pumping a lot of water, just so much water collected in here. I don't think this bilge pump on this side's been working for months. So I'm trying to start tackling the first and most basic projects on this boat, and it's kind of crazy because everything that I stowed on the boat before I left is exactly the same. This compartment down here under the bed, this is exactly right where I put everything, so I'm pretty sure that this bed mattress has never been rolled up because everything is still exactly the same, and pretty much that's everywhere I look on the boat. It's largely untouched. So at least if I'm looking for a tool or something, I know where to look because it's right where I put it before I left. Kind of crazy. Alright, so I've totally pulled out the little basin that the shower drain into. And I ordered a brand new one because that thing had connections for the hoses were just broke off. And then I was trying to figure out how to get more water out of the bilge so I could get down there and figure out what's wrong with the bilge pump. And so I just took the little shower drain pump and I just stuck it down there. It's not super fast, but I can use it to get the water in the bilge down real low and actually be able to get to the pump down there and actually work. So making some progress. It's kind of a mess, but making some progress on this, and I'm gonna take a couple days off and wait for the part on the shower pump thing to arrive and go visit my dad, since he's actually close to here, which is such a coincidence since last time I was on the boat trying to get ready to sell, he was close. And it's a coincidence that worked out that way. Anyway, lots of other things need done in here. It is a mess. I mean, this bathroom nightmare. And this is the shower that was leaking. So what I did is I just disconnected it and put caps on the water lines right now, and I can work on getting a new shower valve for that. But this other one wants to leak just a little bit, but just barely, and I'm hoping that maybe the seal's got a little dry on it, and that with a little bit of time maybe it'll seal. But you can see it's just dripping. And anyway, so it's draining down into the bilge, and the bilge is getting pumped, but not a long-term solution here. I'm not going to leave the water on for too long. I just need to be able to use some water, so this way I can use the water, see if that thing will soften up and maybe seal. So I'm doing all the laundry this little machine can handle, and doing more laundry here in the dish draining bin now that I cleaned it out. It's so dirty in there, but now I've turned it into a wash basin, and everything's still a mess, but just trying to get through that laundry that was down in the bilge and got wet. So I had piled it all out here just to get it out of the boat, but it's still, a lot of it's still in the bag, so I'm trying to get through it all, and some of it has to be thrown, but I think most of it can be washed, so getting through it. Hey guys, I'm right in the middle of all the worst part of this job, getting back to this boat and trying to get things cleaned up and functional and comfortable to live, and I got a space heater because we're at a dock, but then the dock only has so much power, so I'm doing laundry also, and so I kind of figured out that the power from the shore is actually pretty similar to the power that you'd have if you had the inverter on, which I always say with the inverter on this boat that you can do two like huge things at one time in addition to the boat operation. And that would, so if you're using the induction cooktop, or you're doing laundry, or you're making water, like there's a couple things on the boat that use a crap ton of power. There's just a few of them, but you can only use two of those at a time. The convection microwave, same thing. Microwave uses a lot of power when it's running, so you have to be mindful that you're never using more than two things at once. So I just made some hot tea. Well, there's no kettle left on the boat or no teapot or anything, so I'm microwaving water. So when the microwave's on, I have to make sure the heater's off because the washer and dryer's going. Anyway, so just give you an idea of what boat life is like, and then trying to get this guy cleaned back up, and then being here in a very cold temperature is tough because I'm trying to stay warm in here. So anyway, it is just a complete mess, and a whole bunch of laundry that still needs to be washed because so much of that stuff was down in the bilge that got filled with water. So it's all like, most of it's washable and cleanable, but this machine is not, it's not like the boat has a huge washing machine. So Basically, the washing machine can wash and dry like a full set of sheets for one bed. That's about the like reality. You could wash twice as much, but then you'd have to line dry it. Well, it's so freaking cold and cloudy here; it would be line drying for 3 days. So I just need to wash and dry. Anyway, so yeah, wash and dry. This on the table is a little less than 2 loads. I've already taken a towel and a couple things out of here, but basically there's each stack is a load. It's not super big, so it's going to take me probably 20 loads to wash everything that got flooded, and that's why I'm doing this washing in the reservoir here. And then I want to heat water for that. And there's another thing that uses a ton of power. The boat has the ability to heat water off of AC and DC power. Well, thanks to the lack of sun here the last few days, there's no DC power, so the shore is the AC power. So when I turn on the water heater, that's just like one of those major things. So I get like two major things. So when I'm using the water heater, I have to make sure that I'm not using the washing machine or not using the heater or not cooking on the induction. So it's kind of a juggling act to not blow the circuit breakers. But anyway, still working down on the bilges. That's the most important thing on the boat. When I got here, it seemed like everything in this bilge had failed. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but the device that collects all the water from the showers had failed, and the pipe had really broke off, right? So it was just draining into the bilge. Well, then the bilge pumps were non-functional, and the alarm that would go off and like ring and like tell someone that that's failed, it does not functional either. So now I've got the new pump and the new sensor and everything in there, but now the problem really wasn't probably the pump, it was probably the electrical. So now I'm tracking the electrical back and looking at that, trying to sort out. This feels like there's something wrong there, like the power's not even getting to the pump or the alarm to even go off, right? So anyway, just sorting that out, and I was working on that this morning, and my brain was not, it wasn't coming to me. I didn't see where the problem was, so I've taken a break from that. I'll get back to that. I'm not showering over here, so there's no water. I mean, there's no water leaking into the boat, so it's not like it's super vital. But yeah, I got all new stuff down there, and now it's just a matter of getting it like permanently wired in, figuring out where there's probably one simple connection. It could be literally one terminal that's corroded on like the ground wire or something, and that's like the cause of all the problem here. So I'll eventually sort it out and track it down, but that's also boat life. You got weird things like that happen. Trying to keep up on editing, but it's hard to do when the internet is a problem. Since I'm just taking this boat back from the previous owner, I don't yet have the Starlink password, so I don't have internet except on my hotspot on my phone. So I'm trying to coordinate with him like this process of taking the boat back. I didn't want to agree exactly on the terms of taking the boat back till I got here and saw the boat to verify the condition of the boat, and I was a little disappointed. It's pretty rough condition, but all in all, I'm still, I think, willing to just go ahead and take the boat back rather than get attorneys and battle with him over, because I'd have the rights to sue him, and he'd be responsible for all any losses that might come, but I'm not wanting to do that. That just sounds like a horrible experience, so I'd rather just take the boat back, get it in reasonable condition, sell it, again, and hopefully sell it and not lose money on the whole deal. That would be the goal, but right now I'm just in the thick of it, trying to clean up and stay warm and feed myself too. I literally haven't. I've got some meat. I did a Costco run, right? So I have some meat. There's no like Ziploc sandwich bags in the boat except one quart size. So I ordered some vacuum sealer rolls because the rolls for vacuum sealing food. The vacuum sealer's still on the boat, so I ordered those. That way I could buy meat in bulk because I'm a cheapskate. And now just came back from Asia, man, the prices of everything is absolutely ridiculous. I can't even hardly stomach it. So Costco, meat at Costco is like the cheapest per pound I can find anything. So so I've stocked up on meat anyway. I'm not going to stock up on too much because I don't plan to be here, for a long, long time. But I got to be realistic that this whole process could take months. So I probably will go through all that meat. Anyway, but I want to have this guy on the market fairly soon, but yeah, the list is so long to have it even look halfway presentable. So right now, it's it's just the thick of it, getting all these things washed that work, soaked down the bilge, getting the bilge pumps working. There's a toilet that's clogged. Got to get that done. Getting all this, this laundry put away. Now the good news is they left a whole bunch of vacuum seal bags on the boat, so I'm going to now vacuum seal all this stuff like watertight. Like it'll be brilliant. So yeah, get it all back. Now the good news also is that actually outside of this mess that I've walked into, the boat is actually pretty good. Cosmetically, it's rough. The paint really needs help. The gel coat finish is rough, but feature-wise, outside of a couple things that are broke, it is really pretty solid. The current owner was adding some nice things to it, and so it's not like it's worse off than it was. It's just dirtier, and it's dirtier and in a little more disrepair than it was when I sold it, but not by a long shot. But the improvements he's made more than make up for that. So that's why I'm still willing to just take it back. So, all right, that's enough talking. Make my hot tea, try to stay warm, get the laundry done, get video editing done. Welcome to the reality of boat life. If you left your boat for several months and just came back to it, this is exactly what you'd find. I think he's had it here since October. I think he's had it here December. He's had it here like 4 months. So basically this is what it would be like if you parked your boat at a marina and just left for 4 months and came back. You'd find things corroded, things not working, things a mess just from sitting, and that's kind of how this is. So, well, I've pretty well sorted through everything now, and I think about everything that's left is probably a write-off. These towels are not only kind of moldy, but they're actually, like these are, I don't know, they're just like degrading, like the fabric's degrading. It's nuts. Some of them are a little cleaner than others, but I don't even think it's worth it. I think just gonna throw them all in the dumpster. So yeah, pretty much just towels. Everything else that got wet I was able to salvage. That was the sheets. I've now washed all that stuff, and some of it's hanging out to dry outside. But all this stuff survived pretty well. It's all washed up, smells good. And there's a few things hanging outside. To update on all the crazy things going on here, I'm working so hard to get this boat cleaned up and ready, and I've been making good progress. It's currently Saturday afternoon. I figured by the end of this weekend I'd have this place like perfect looking. Got a little more washing to do outside and a few more things to put away, and then without any notice, the marina shut the water off to the whole dock, and coincidentally I didn't worry about refilling the tanks on the boat. And I've been doing laundry and everything else. I haven't even showered today. I was planning to shower, and now my tanks are completely empty on the boat. So I'm like, okay, well, it's kind of a bummer. I'm not going to be washing or doing anything, but it's not the end of the world. I could use a tiny bit of water just for, drinking and cooking and stuff. And so maybe it's a good chance to make sure the Watermaker's running right, because I haven't tested that out since I've been back. So then I go to flip on the low pressure pump, and it's a brand new pump I just put on before I left the boat a year ago, and still looks brand new, and nothing happens when I flip the switch on. So I now pull out the panel, the main electrical panel, so I could get to the back of the circuit breaker, because I've already tested there's no power getting down to the pump, and then I can see there's power here. So then check this out. Okay, so down here is the pump, and so I trace those wires back to the main panel in here, followed that wire all the way to here, where it connects through with the fuse to the wire that runs up there to the panel. Now, it doesn't really need a fuse here because that's a fuse up on the panel, but it can't work without a fuse in it. So I just tested, there's power on this side, there's no power getting to this side. I'm like, all right, so what happened? And someone else would have just about had to sabotage this Watermaker. So weird. Why would the fuse be pulled on that? Or, I don't know, something's something definitely weird. There's a lot of things on this boat that is just super weird. Like, why are there, I mean, almost everything's left on the boat, but why are the socket sets missing from the boat? Why is every screwdriver missing from the boat? Super weird. Yeah, don't know. So I'm trying. I don't even know that I have spare fuses on this on the boat, as I never really thought about that, but probably do. Got to go look. Anyway, yeah, we gotta see if that fixes it. Okay, we'll check it out. Okay, so problem is fixed. Just was all it was a fuse, and now I tore everything apart. So yeah, it's not the cleanest water to be trying to make water in, but just test the Watermaker out. Everything seems to be working pretty good considering what we're dealing with here. It's nasty water out there. That's about where it should run though. So that's good. The filters are filthy, nasty looking, so I'm not going to run this thing for long without cleaning the filters, but I just want to make sure it's working. This is my little video because I just want to show how kind of cool it is being on a boat at twilight. Trying to get the glass cleaned up so it's a little bit more clear outside. The water just shimmers and it's kind of cool. Just watching a little YouTube.